Emmy-winning comedian, actress, writer, and producer Sarah Silverman has a gift for pushing boundaries and bringing humor to life's toughest topics. She's hitting the road with her Postmortem tour, bringing a fresh and personal take on comedy, and she'll be performing at the Cache Creek Casino Resort in Brooks, California, really close to Sacramento. Here to tell us all about it is the one and only Sarah Silverman. Great to have you on the show, Sarah.
Great to be here. How you doing?
We're doing good. We're talking to you. And I mean, so you have a tour going on. Can you tell us what first inspired the theme of your Postmortem tour and what people can expect from it?
This is very difficult because it doesn't sound like a selling point at all. But my dad and my stepmom died a year ago last May, and the show is really about that. I don't know how to convince you that it's also funny, but it is funny. I mean, I guess if you're a fan of mine, you know that I usually talk about the darkest corners of humanity. So
Yes. To that, I mean, with your comedy, I feel like you've always been able to creatively mix humor with difficult subjects. And you mentioned losing your stepmom and your dad. How do you find that balance of using your craft of humor and applying it to personal topics like grief and loss? And why would you say it's so important to remember to laugh when going through those difficult times?
I think that using my own life for comedy is just what makes me like everybody else. And, you know, it's tragedy is not unique and not unique to me. And this is embarrassing. I think I'm wearing that shirt um, right now. But, you know, and it just is, you know, for lack of a better word, it's relatable. And I feel like the crowds have really been feeling like a little bit more like family in this tour.
I have to ask you, so talking about grief, what would you say are the things people need to stop saying when someone has lost a loved one? Because I feel like there's those sayings or those quotes that people say, and maybe it can be a little annoying to hear. Would you say there's certain things people need to stop saying?
I mean, nothing that irks me, but I will say that somebody called into my podcast and someone had called in with a tragedy, and I was saying, oh, I can't imagine. And another person called in and said I should say, or one should say, I can only imagine. Because then it's not cutting off the person from experience, like I can't be a part of that. It's just saying, like, I can only imagine what that must be like, you know? So that was a lesson I learned. I don't know.
That's
But
now
hey,
I'm going to take that note too.
Mr. Rogers says if it's mentionable, it's manageable. And so that's what I'm doing on stage, I think.
There you go.
And,
Quoting the true Mr. Rogers, too. You've had an amazing career in comedy, from stand-up to SNL to the Sarah Silverman program to your talk show on Hulu. What would you say has been maybe the biggest shift in your approach to comedy over the years?
You know, I think I would have a lot of anxiety and maybe a pinch of dread going into things. And I just had to stop and be like, this is the dream, right? Because otherwise, don't do it. And I think I think people have anxiety. I know I'm not the only one. But one shift for me, and it's made me enjoy the road so much more. And in everything I do, is just like, hey, you're going to get this done. You've never not gotten it done. So stop stressing, enjoy it.
Yeah.
And it's really helped me.
What are people
Silly,
shocked when you tell them that you get anxiety? Because, you know, being on TV, being in shows, being a stand-up comedian, are people shocked when they hear you say that?
I'd be hard pressed to find anyone who doesn't have anxiety, but just how you deal with it, certainly as you get older, is really important. You can tell how it affects your life, like physically, you know? I mean, the mind-body connection is real. If it wasn't, how would you explain nervous diarrhea?
Just like that, you know?
Come on, high five, baby. No.
There we go. That's enough for us to get our viewers to come to the show. Sarah, we appreciate your time so much.
Come for the passed away parents, stay for the diarrhea.
There you go. There's a mix of everything in there. Sarah, again, appreciate your time. I'm going to let our viewers know where they can go for a little bit more information. Sarah Silverman Postmortem Tour will be coming to the Cache Creek Casino on October 25th. You can find out more by heading to sarahsilverman.com.